Hi, I'm Don Genova, and we are at the second Canadian Chefs Congress on Providence Farm in beautiful British Columbia. And over the next 12 months on this website, you're going to see some of the interviews that we did during the weekend. People talking about sustainable seafood, people talking about sustainable food systems, how chefs can get the message out to the general public. And first of all, we're with Andre Lariviere. And Andre, tell me about your particular organization.
My organization is called the Green Table Network. We're a nonprofit that works with restaurants basically to give them a game plan for sustainability, ways of how they can translate their willingness and enthusiasm for being sustainable and things that really make sense for their bottom line too.
And what are you going to be telling them today?
Well, we're going to be talking about basically that, about how to turn a lot of our concern for the oceans and concern for the sustainability of seafood into action, into things that really make sense for this industry, things that chefs can really get behind, actions that they can take every day and on their menus and in the choices they make when they're buying to really create and foster a sustainability for the future. So it's really coming down to action, and this is where people like Neil and organizations like Seachoi are going to give the chefs the big picture, give them the understanding of what they need to know, and out of this weekend, we're going to try to give them some real concrete actions they can take back home.
And Neil, tell us about Seachoi.
Seachoi is a sustainable seafood program built on trying to educate people on some of the complexities and challenges around sustainable seafood and why some of these challenges are challenging to get through. It's really about education, allowing people to make educated choices and choosing, let's say, lower on the food chain, that kind of thing, and just having a good understanding of why some of these things are challenging and where some of the complexities of sourcing can come from, and when you're dealing with some of the knots that do up the supply chain within the seafood world.
And it's not that simple because it's kind of a shifting playing field with the way the seafood goes these days.
Well, there's pricing variances, different quotas go up and down, supply is available, different education sources about what is sustainable, what isn't, different pieces of, I guess, propaganda, for lack of a better word, of what is deemed, as a sustainable product or not. Without it being, let's say, necessarily grounded back to the science aspect. Within Seachoi, we really pride ourselves on having a good scientific knowledge and a good scientific base on making the recommendations that are found within our cards.
It's difficult to simplify it for the consumer because it's, as you say, there are so many factors that you have to take into account.
Well, you can simplify it once you arm people with the knowledge that they can take, and once understanding the knowledge, then you really have 3/4 of the battle won. Then it becomes making educated choices rather than just reaching for a simple brand. It isn't that simple. There are just some challenges that need to be overcome, and education is really one of the ways that people can use the information we provide to make those more educated choices.
And maybe to both of you, what's the advantage of being able to come to a Congress like this?
Well, I think it's the key advantage is that these chefs, this group, has tremendous influence over consumers, over the industry, and whatever. And I think that's the key advantage. Is coming out of this conference like this, this group can have a tremendous effect on the future. So I think being able to work with them and to help them, give them some of the tools that they can work with, is really a great opportunity. And if uniting them around this issue is a terrific movement. It bodes well for the future.
I think chefs are really looked up to within the food world, and they're innovators and leaders and have an opportunity to sort of trend set. Chilean sea bass, for example, was an unheard of species or fish until it became sort of sexy or suave to serve it. And now it's in dire consequence of virtually endangered species. So I think really chefs can be trendsetters within their world to really set the bar very high to not only source, let's say, seafood sustainably, but operate in a sustainable manner. Whether it's reducing the amount of chemicals or packaging that's used, shortening the supply chain to buy food more locally. There's just a lot of steps that the chefs and restaurant industry as a whole can take. But it takes a lot of hard work and a bit of a risk take to stick your neck out there and actually make those changes happen.
Yeah, buck the system.
Yeah,
Gotta buck the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much, guys.
You're welcome.